Hi, so I'm Fredrik Haren, and now I'm going to do it slightly different from what you might expect from a video on a website from a global keynote speaker. I am going to assume that you and I are in a meeting, a one-on-one meeting where you have invited me because you want to find out if I am suitable to be the keynote speaker for your next convention. I have been invited because I assume I have made it onto the short list of speakers that you are now evaluating, or to be honest, at least I am on the list of people you are going to put on the short list. Now, the first thing you most likely going to ask me is say, okay, so Fredrik, tell us more about yourself. And then I would be forced to turn that question around and say, yes, sure, I would love to tell you more about myself, but before that, please tell me more about your convention. What is the theme of the convention? You see, a keynote, the definition of a keynote, is a speech that sets the theme for the convention. Or if it's at the end, a speech that summarizes the convention that we have just had. So a keynote speaker is important that the theme fits with the theme of your convention. So what is the theme of your convention or the conference that you're organizing? Now, if this is creativity, change, and disruption, then I do believe I would be a good fit for your convention. Let's say, for example, that the theme is creativity and innovation. For example, like BMW, who just recently invited 600 of their most important clients, their fleet managers. The fleet managers are the people who buy thousands of cars for companies. These 600 people who buy 5% of all the BMWs in the world, very, very important clients for BMW. They invite them to Munich to drive the latest cars and see the latest technology, and they had one external keynote speaker, and that was me. I was there to talk about the advantage of being creative and innovative. Or, for example, like Booking.com. Booking.com, who flies 7,000 of their managers from all around the world to Amsterdam for a big conference where they want to inspire and motivate their employees. And I was one of their keynote speakers last year. I was there to inspire and motivate their employees to want to be more creative and come up with more creative solutions so that Booking.com can continue to be innovative and successful in the travel industry. Or like EY, who invited their global conference to a conference in Barcelona also last year, where they wanted to show how the whole tax environment, how GovTech is now being disrupted by automation and artificial intelligence, and how EY can be their partner for the clients when they are looking at how to navigate this minefield of changes that are now happening in the law of mobility and tax. And I was the only external keynote speaker. Now, I know that I'm not the most famous of keynote speakers, and you might never have heard of me, and I'm okay with that. But I know I have shared the stage with some of the greatest and most famous names in speaking, like Seth Godin and Richard Branson and Marcus Buckingham and Sheryl Sandberg. I've shared the stage with all of them because I know that I have done the keynote speeches at some of the largest conventions in the world, and I don't get those speeches because I am well known. I get them because I am a great keynote speaker. Someone has heard me speak. Because I know your second question to me will now be, okay, Fredrik, so it seems like your topic is very relevant to us. You speak about creativity, innovation, and change. And I also speak on the topic of globalization and human mindset. For example, like Mindshare, who invites all of their managers, and because they want to be better at working across borders, across silos, across the world, and they want to build a truly global company, then they invite me to come and speak based on my book, One World, One Company. So those are the two topics I speak on: innovation, change and disruption, and global human mindset, which I'll combine into the theme, humanity to the power of ideas. If that is the topic that you're thinking of for your next convention, I will be a good fit. But your next question will be, okay, fine, the topic seems to be relevant, but who are you? I've never heard about you. And like I said, I am not the most famous of speakers, but I do the largest conferences in the world. And I get those bookings because I'm a good speaker, because I know how to engage and interact with an audience. And I do that because there are two kinds of speakers generally. You have the motivational, inspirational speakers, and you have the topic experts who speak on digitalization or politics or whatever it is. So you have business speakers and motivational speakers. But what I'm a combination of both. I'm a motivational, inspirational speaker who speaks on the topic of business. And I have spent the last 22 years doing research on real life examples of what happens in business around these areas. And I do my own interviews, and I make sure I do interviews all around the world. For the last book I did interviews in more than 20 different countries. For the book before that, same thing, more than 20 different countries. And I always constantly new research to try out to get the latest examples from real life companies around the world, what's happening right now. I would say that is my advantage number one. Real life examples delivered in a motivational, inspirational way on a business topic, so that people can go home the next day and apply what they just learned. But I also know how to deal with a global audience. That would be my second advantage. Because I've spoken in so many different countries, more than 65 different countries on 6 continents, more than 20 countries every year, 24 countries last year, 23 countries the year before that, 35 countries the year before that. I know how to deal with people from different backgrounds. I know how to make a German appreciate a speech. I know how to make an American appreciate a speech. I know how to make a Chinese laugh, and a Swede laugh, a Brazilian laugh. I know how to engage and interact with a global audience. And that is important, because people from different backgrounds expect and want different things in a keynote speaker. And the only way you can make a global or international audience appreciate your speech is if you know how to craft a keynote that is communicating with humans on a human level. And the only way you know how to do that is to have experience, a vast experience of speaking to many different people from many different cultures, many different times. And that's what I've done. 2,000 speeches, 65 countries, more than 20 countries every year, all across the world. And finally, I would like to add an advantage that I think is one of my strongest, and that is my ability to engage and interact with the audience. As a speaker, I truly believe in today's world, where there are thousands and thousands of free videos, free speeches on video on YouTube, if you're going to invite a keynote speaker, you need to be able to deliver more than just a speech that might as well be shown on video. You need to engage with the audience, you need to interact with the audience, you might need to have fun with the audience, and you need to be able to improvise with the audience. And that is a skill that I have spent a lot of time and effort developing over the last 20 years. And I know how to make, even if it's a big audience, like 10,000 people, how to get an audience to feel that they are part of an experience, not just watching a video on stage. So there you have it. If you're looking for an inspirational, motivational speaker who knows how to engage with the audience and get the audience to feel that they're part of an experience, at the same time delivering a business message that is practical and that has real-life takeaways based on research from real-life companies all around the world that I have been doing myself, and you think that you need someone to inspire and motivate and educate your audience on the topic of creativity, innovation, disruption, change, and global human mindset, if you think that the topic of humanity to the power of ideas is a topic that would engage and motivate your audience, I really appreciate if you would take the time to pick up the phone, send me an email, or connect with me on Skype, or if we just happen to be in the same part of the world, let's have a real one-on-one meeting, and let's discuss if there's any way that I can help take your conference and your convention to the next level. I look forward to hearing from you soon.